All right, so let's add to our table of contents real quick. We should be adding number 8. All right, in number 8, we're going to do notes / homework, because this is kind of both of the things at one time. And then we're going to do graphing and area. So the only difference between what we've been doing is before, if it gave you like a picture on a graph, it was already done for you. Now we're going to graph it, and then we're still going to find the area using those formulas that we just had that quiz on. Please remember, guys, if you don't remember your formula, you can always look it up in those old notes, all right? Raise your hand if you need more time writing down number 8. Let's make sure we have 8 copied down in our table of contents. Number 8. For all my other classes, while they're copying, I'll have to pass the notes out. So notes are coming out for the other classes. Kind of did things backwards first period. Yes.
Why don't you just show them the video?
Normally I do not show the video after first period because I feel like everyone gets more out of me up here teaching. If you were just watching a video, it would be a lot easier to fall asleep, not pay as much attention. You also don't get to raise your hand and participate as much. Today it's just my voice going, and with that lovely stats to grade, I'm going to try to get some grading done and rest my voice. So hopefully next week we can start fresh and everything will be back to normal here, because I have ended up with laryngitis before where I lost my voice completely and had to take off a whole day of work. I'd rather not do that. So that is the only reason it will be shown today. If it was not for me being terrified of losing my voice, I would not. All right. Let's look at our notes / homework for today. Remember, this is going to be number 8. Number 8. The directions are pretty simple. We're going to graph the figure, and then we're going to find the area. So on number 1, it says, we already know what shape it should be. It should be a parallelogram. If I graph it, and it does not look like a parallelogram, I know I made a mistake in graphing, and I probably need to check those 4 points. All right, please remember, guys, whenever we're graphing, it's always X, comma, Y. So that first line is always going to go on our X, and the second line is always going to go on our Y. If it helps you to label those, please label them. All right, so my first vertex here says -10, 9. So on X, I need to count all the way. So starting at the center, we're going to go backwards since it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're almost all the way at the end by the arrow. Now we're not putting a dot yet because I still have to go +9, so that means I'm going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we can put our dot there. All right, these are kind of like those picture graphs we did a lot of. All right, so now we have 5, 9. So again, starting at the center. This time I'm going to go forward 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go up 9 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And draw my dot. And if you want to, guys, since we have those 2 dots drawn, we can go ahead and connect them. Okay, so I've just connected those dots. Are there any questions on where I got my 2 points from? Remember, it's X, Y, so you've got to crawl, and then we can walk up and down. All right, so now I've done this point, I've done this point. Let's do my 8 and -7. So starting at the center, since it's +8, I'm going to be crawling forward. So I'm going to crawl forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it says -7, so when I walk, am I walking up or down? Down, and we're going to walk down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to put my dot there. And if we want to connect that, we can. Guys, we just want to kind of draw this kind of carefully because y'all can see it's slanted. So I can't just go down a line. So I'm just going to draw it. If you want, you can always get a piece of paper. If you're like, my lines are crazy looking, you can use the edge of a piece of paper. You can use the edge of a binder. Any of those should usually work. So I'm just going to kind of connect mine the best I can. You can see it's not perfect. Again, I've been drawing lines for a while, so if you want to use a piece of paper, remember you can't push down on it hard, but at least it shows you like my line is going to go here. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a guide. Okay? All right. So now we need to graph our last one, which is negative 7, 7. So when I start at the center, am I crawling forwards or backwards? Backwards, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then am I going to walk up or down? Down. How many? 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we should see, since this is a parallelogram, those are going straight across again. Oh, got a little bump in there. That's okay. All right, and then I do need to connect those, the first one and the last one that I drew to make the shape connect. Okay. All right, so does that look like a parallelogram? Yeah. All right. So now we're going to use our formula. What is my formula for a parallelogram, Addison? A equals BH. You can see I'm just kind of writing it at the side. So we got A equals, for my base, what do we want to use for our base, Emma? Or what do we want to count?
Count the bottom here and the top because they're the same length.
Excellent. I love that description. She said I can count the bottom, or I can even count the top because they're the exact same. So you choose the one that you drew best. That's what I would do. My top one looks better, but I'm just going to go ahead and count the bottom. I've already messed this one up a little bit. So when I count, I'm going to count over. Remember, put your pencil at your starting point and then start counting over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 15 spaces. So my base is going to be 15. That's a 5. There we go, 15. All right, yes, Ian? So make sure, so put your pencil where you start. All right, so, and now start counting over. Make sure you're counting the line. Even count that middle line, Ian. Okay, so let's start over. Okay, so we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14 and 15 still. You got it now? Okay. All right, so now let's do our height. So I really, guys, I can go over to the side and count if I want. So I can be like, well, there's the top, there's the bottom, and I can count here. Or this is a really big shape, isn't it? I can just make my own dotted line going through the center, because aren't our heights normally dotted? There we go. I just created my own height line. Do y'all see how I just went through the center from the top all the way to the bottom? Joseph?
Can't you just do the center line that was already in the graph?
You can do the center line already in the graph. You can, yeah. So I'm going to start at the top, put your pencil where you're starting, and then count after that. So there's where I'm going to start, and now I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I got 16. Is that what y'all got? All right. And guys, you'll notice, did y'all see how I'm drawing? Because these are really long. So I'm drawing these little scoop marks because that makes, now you just, if I lose count or something, I can just count those scoop marks. I don't have to start all the way. So I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 there. So there's my height, the 16. So I get area equals, when I multiply 15 times 16. Kaylee? 240. And what am I going to put with that? Units squared. And I know a lot of y'all like to try to put a U. I want to see the whole word. Okay, questions about number 1? Carson? Mm-hmm. I need you to write your name and number for me, okay? So I don't think that missing one is you. All right, so number 2, we're going to do a triangle. So, and guys, y'all see where it's saying, is it calling these points ordered pairs or coordinates? What is it calling them? It's calling them vertices. What a vertice is it's a point that's going to make the corner of a shape. Maybe it's a corner in a picture. Maybe it's a corner in a parallelogram. Maybe it's a corner in a triangle. But they're going to be on a graph, and it's going to be where lines connect. All right, so let's start with my first point here. So I have -2, 5. So starting in the very center, am I going to go backwards 2 when I crawl, or am I going to crawl forwards 2? Backwards. So I'm going to crawl backwards 1, 2, and then I have to walk up or down 5. Up, because it's a +5 here. So I'm going to up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to put my dot there, and now I've graphed that one. Okay? So let's look at number 2. It says -2, -8. So again, starting in the center. Am I going to go backwards 2 or forwards 2? Backwards. So backwards 1, 2, and then it says -8. So am I going to walk up 8 or down 8? Down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so there's my next one. If we want to connect those, we can. Or you can connect them at the end. I like connecting them as I go because that's how we have to do those graph pictures. All right, we only have one more since it's a triangle, so that's good. There's only 3 points. Anyone else excited about that? I am. All right. So now it says -9, 5. So when I start at the center, I've got to crawl first -9. Does that mean forwards or backwards? Backwards. So we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then it says a +5, so am I going to walk up or down 5? Up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, so I'm going to use my pencil to connect those last 2 that I did. So there's my paper, just kind of drawing my line down the side. Not really pushing against the paper, but just using it to help me see how to go straight. And if you want to, guys, even when I'm going straight across, that line plus the line on the graph might help me. Okay, that line across looks a lot better than my line that went down, I think. All right, so we're good with our triangle here. All right. And guys, I don't have as much room, so if we wanted to like number here is 1, and if I want to do number 2, I can keep doing that in the middle. Do y'all see how I'm using that space still? So here I'm going to do number 2, which says area equals, what's my formula for a triangle? Charlie? Base times height divided by 2. Excellent job. So my area equals, so I've got to figure out my base and my height. Which lines will be my base and my height? Now on this triangle, it gives them to me. Did y'all notice that? How do I know that I'm given, like that my line, one of my lines are going to be my base and my height? Or 2 of my lines will be my base and my height. How do I know that, Jesselyn? There's a right angle. This one goes straight down. This one goes straight across. So we're already going to have that right angle there. Do y'all see that? And remember, my base and my height have to make a right angle. All right, so let's do, we can just pick, it doesn't matter which one's which. If you want to pick the top as your base, you can. If you want to pick the side as your base, you can. Most of us would probably pick the top and make that one going up and down our height. Y'all agree? Probably. That's kind of the way our brains work with those, right? So let's do our base. We'll do the top line as our base. So I'm going to start at the very beginning for my base, and we're going to count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Is 7 the right number? All right, y'all got to double check me because sometimes I get a little goofy. All right, so I'm going to say my base is 7. All right, remember that could have been your height if you wanted to do it the other way. That's absolutely fine. So now I'm going to count my height. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to count down. You could also start at the bottom and count up. We'll get the same number. So I'm going to start at the top, and then I'm going to count down, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you still have to count that middle line. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that what y'all got, 13? Yeah. Okay, when I don't use my scoops, it makes me a little nervous. I don't know why I didn't do my scoops here. All right, and then we have to divide by 2. So now we can use our calculator. 7 times 13, and then divided by 2. Seth, what'd you get? 45.5, and what's going to have to go with that? Units squared. So I'm going to circle that. And guys, I'm just going to put another number 2 next to that. That way if someone was grading my paper, they know that that answer is for number 2, and my first answer was for number 1. All right? So guys, we're going to do one more together. So this is kind of just a bunch of review, isn't it? We're graphing. We've done that before, but we're practicing some more. We've done the formulas this week. We're just practicing some more. But I don't think we were quite ready to throw this in yesterday. I wasn't. All right, let's look at number 3. It's our trapezoid. So we know our trapezoid should be the funky looking shape. All right, so let's start with that first point. It says -1, 1. So I'm going to start at the beginning. When I crawl, am I going to crawl forwards 1 or backwards 1? Backwards, because it says negative. And then I've got to walk 1, so am I going to walk up or down? Up 1. So I'm going to put my little dot there. All right, so I've done the first point. Let's do the next point. It says 6, 1. So again, starting in the center. Am I going up 6? Am I going forward 6? We got to crawl first. Forward 6 or backward 6? Forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it says +1. So am I going to walk up 1 or down 1? Up. We're going to go up 1. And we can kind of connect those. All right. So there's the next point. Let's do the next one. It says, starting at the center, it says a +4. Remember, that's for crawling. So am I going to crawl forwards 4 or backwards 4? Forwards 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it says -2. Am I going to crawl up 2 or down 2? Down. So 1, 2, going down 2. And we have a slanted line. Is that normal on a trapezoid?
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Remember, trapezoids are kind of funny. They could have straight or it can be slanted, so we're good with that. All right, so there's the next one. Let's graph this last one because this is going to be kind of the one that tells us, did we do it right? All right, so I'm starting at the center. It says -7, so that's my crawling. Am I going to crawl forward or am I going to crawl backwards? Backwards. So we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it says -2. Am I going to crawl up 2 or am I going to crawl down 2? Down 2. 1, 2. All right, so now let's connect these. So that's going straight across. That's good because I need 2 lines that are going the same direction. All right, and then this slant is a little more extreme. Do y'all notice that? Is that okay on a trapezoid? Absolutely. But if this was a parallelogram, we'd be in trouble. All right, but we're good because it's a trapezoid. All right, so we need our formula for a trapezoid, which is a little bit longer. So I have some space. You'll see I have some empty space on my graph. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to write this. So I'm going to write A equals, we have base 1 plus base 2 times the height. This is the biggest thing that I saw when I was kind of taking up those papers real quick just now, was on a trapezoid, we also have to divide by 2. Some of us left that off. All right?
Can I have my stupid moment?
Okay.
How do you know for sure which is the base on a triangle that is crookedy on the page?
We can't do that one.
I mean, I see yours, totally.
Yeah.
Now, does it matter if you use that? It doesn't matter if you switch
Doesn't
them.
matter which one you use here.
So we can't do this one.
So they cannot do that one. So thank you for pointing that out because I'm going to make sure that our triangle on the back is going to work out for us.
My triangle's just a little twisted, so you can't count the cute boxes.
Gotta love Miss Donahue. Okay. So we're working on our trapezoid. I didn't think we were going to do that worksheet. Okay. That's okay. That's good for y'all. Let's work for y'all. You're welcome. All right. So let's talk about our bases on our trapezoid. Which lines on this trapezoid are going to be my bases? Emma. The bottom and the top. Now, Emma, it's not because they're the bottom and the top, right? Why is it that they're my base? They're not slanted. What else is important about that, Omar? They're going in the same direction. It's not a little like dance for my trapezoids, okay? They can go horizontal. They can go vertical as long as they go in the same direction. It's like, you feel kind of like one of those, like, the little people at the airport, you know, they're like, left, right, go. Their arms are always moving in the same direction. That's like my trapezoid. Those bases always have to be in the same direction, okay? All right, let's go ahead and count the top one. Y'all good with that? Let's do this. It's short, so I want to do that one first because that one looks easy since it's short. All right, so let's start at the beginning and count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. For whoever called that out, you were correct. Spoiler alert. Thanks. All right, so I got 7 there. So I'm going to put my parenthesis. My first base is 7. Plus, now we need to count the second base. It's a little bit longer, so I'm going to be careful. Starting to pick my starting point. And now we're going to start counting. 1. Do y'all see that little bitty space right there from this point to that? Y'all see what I'm talking about? I still have to count that, okay? So make sure you're counting that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 for my second base. 7-11. All right. Now we've got to do the height. Guys, again, I'm going to pick a height that goes through the center. Again, does the line through that center line on the graph, it goes from top to bottom, doesn't it? So you can use that. I like kind of picking my own because it makes me feel like I'm real smart. All right, so I'm just kind of making my own dotted line. You'll see I have a dotted line now for my height. And I just chose a line to go down that goes from the top to the bottom. All right, so now let's count that. So I'm going to count down. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 for that line going down the center. So my height is 3. And then we still have to divide by 2. So I'm going to pause here because the trapezoid has a lot of stuff to count. Kamari, question? Oh, you're ready. She's ready for the next step. Okay. Are there any other questions, though? Because the trapezoids, I think, are a little bit harder. Amari, you got a question for me? Yes, sir, you may. Are there any questions about the trapezoid? Let me be more specific this time. Any questions about that trapezoid? We're okay with that? All right. All right, so I get A equals. All right, remember, we got to add those numbers first. What do I get when I add them? Grayson? 18. And then we still have times 3. And then we still need to divide by 2. Make sure we have that extra step there. All right. So now, Kamari, since you raised your hand earlier, what do we get for our answer? 27. And I'm going to put units. And then I'm going to square it. All right. So when I write it, make sure we have units with the square at the end. How she just said that out loud, 27 square units, is the perfect way to read that. You can read it either way. Okay. Are there questions about 1, 2, or 3? Questions about this? All right. Grace? Okay. I will look at yours in just a second, okay? All right. Let me flip it over on the back real quick. This is a triangle, and this triangle is not going to work. So I want everyone to mark out number 5.
Yay, let's work.
All right, hold on. If you have a comment or a question, I need you to raise your hand. Emma, I saw your hand up. Is it about number 4?
No.
Okay, what's your question?
I think I just realized what it was.
Okay. All right. She's already answered her own question. All right. Let me check this last triangle. Number 8's triangle should be good. All right. Number 8, you should be fine. I just re-looked at those. It should be excellent. It should work out just like number 2 that we did together. All right. And then the parallelogram and trapezoid will be okay. All right. At this point, we should be able to get started. But do mark out number 5 on the back. Make sure you've marked that triangle out because it will not work, okay?